Hello, everybody. Jose Rodriguez here. I am just a few days before we leave and go to Orlando to celebrate my birthday, our wedding anniversary, which always falls on the same month. Amazing, isn't it? You know what? That's how I remember exactly when we got married 48 years ago. 5th of September, and then the 26th is my birthday, and then my dad's birthday was the 14th, and he passed away on the 19th. So lots of things happening in September. But anyway, I wanted to get this out before I leave. In fact, before tomorrow night's live stream. And by the way, it will be on tomorrow night, 5 o'clock as normal. But when we get back Saturday evening, of course, there's not going to be any live stream that night because on the 28th we fly back and it's going to be a bit late in the afternoon, so we will not be getting here until dark. And so what I plan to do, unless I'm really, really beat and tired, we'll move it over to Sunday. That works sometimes yes, sometimes no. We'll see how much I have to discuss. If not, we'll just postpone it until the following weekend. So, boy, I often wonder, what am I going to talk about? What other subjects can I bring up in video format so that I can, help out people out there? Well, I don't have to think too hard because the same age-old question. My prints don't match my monitor. Oh, I'm not getting the correct skin tones that I expect. I have to adjust my images so much that they look horrible on my monitor so that they will print correctly. And I'm going like, what? Totally unnecessary. Really, there is no need to do that. Let me tell you, once again, step by step, how to get that printer certified. I don't mean calibrated. I mean certified. That means that you know for sure the printer by itself can produce a perfect rendition of what? The only perfect image I know of, the evaluation image V002.TIFF. Get it from my Facebook group. It's there for you to just simply grab it. And if you cannot join Facebook or just don't do Facebook, I will provide you guys with a link so you can download it directly from the UK, the organization that created this perfect evaluation image. Now, what you do is you set up your printer from the beginning. Have you not done this? If so, you probably didn't know you're supposed to do this. They're not going to tell you that. I'm here to tell you that this is the way for you to eliminate any possibilities that the printer is at fault. Everyone blames the printer, their camera, their lens, when in reality they need to look a little bit deeper inside. Okay? So get that printer set up and print that evaluation image. How do you print it, Jose? Well, if it's a Canon printer, like this one, like all of those that I have over there, Pro 100, Pro 10, Pro 1, Pro 1000. Look into the driver, load up Pro Luster as the paper choice, go to color/intensity manual adjustment, go to the matching tab, and set it to ICM. Okay? And then click OK and get out of there. Set your quality to high. And of course, check again that you have the correct paper size and the correct paper type. It has to be a Canon paper or an Epson paper, for that matter, for you to be able to certify your printer with this image. Open it up in your editing software of choice. Do not edit it regardless of what it looks like to you. Okay? Let's assume that your monitor is straight out of the box, the way it's always been. Okay? Open it, file, print, and make sure your driver is set to those settings, and you will get this. This is what you will get. You're going to look at it. This is a very easy image to evaluate. You're going to look at it. This is a scanning electron micrograph. It's going to be neutral. It's going to be in monochrome. This is a ramp from 000 to 255, which is maximum white. In other words, 255 when it comes to printing means that no ink is laid on the paper. 255 reflects just the paper base by itself. And in between, you should have no tonality changes along that complete rim. By the way, if you guys already know this, skip all of this, go to the next video, go view something else. But for you guys that are just getting into this and no one told me this, this is what I'm here for. This is to teach you guys how to certify that printer. So to evaluate the image, if you're going to look at it under bright lights, you want to make sure that you're not blocking these last few steps here, right here as well. Do not worry about these colors. They're out of gamut. They're impossible to print correctly as they are optically shown to you on your screen. So now you have this produced and out of the printer. You look at it and you go, wow, now that's about as red a strawberry as I've ever seen. But most importantly, look at these children's skin tones. Do they look natural? Okay, there's various ethnic groups represented. You will be able to tell if something looks green or bluish or yellowish. If it looks correct, this looks correct, this looks edible, by the way. These sunsets and shots of fall foliage in this canyon right here, whatever that is, looks fantastic. These look normal to you. These look excellent. And more than anything else, this has to look neutral. You are good to go. Is it too bright? No, it looks correct to me. Is it too dark? No, it looks correct to me. Bingo! Ding, ding, ding. You have certified your printer. It's that easy. Okay? Now you know your printer is capable. Your printer is out of the equation now. Now comes the fun. Take this over to your monitor. By the way, this was done with a P800. Take this over to the monitor and look at the same image displayed now by your screen, your monitor, your display. Does that match? Probably not. Okay, it'll probably be too blue, too bright, too whatever. This is when calibration comes into play. And it's not calibrating the monitor according to what the calibrating software says so is correct. And then hoping that your printer is able to reproduce whatever you edit on it the way you see it. Of course not. Of course it's not going to. If you have to make an adjustment to your image from what it looks like on your display so that it prints correctly, then your display is incorrectly set up or calibrated. Simple as that. Your display has to match this output. Okay? Not the other way around. You're not going to make the printer attempt to match what the display is incorrectly displaying. Okay? If it's incorrectly displaying your images, then you are ruining your images by editing them on that monitor. Think about it. You're not doing them any good at all. Okay? It's the other way around. Output this perfect image so that it looks correct on your printer, letting the driver control color using OEM ink, of course. I should have said that in the beginning. And OEM paper, meaning a paper that matches the brand of the printer. That's what those printers are calibrated for. Their own papers. Check the output next to your monitor. Does it look correct? If the monitor looks off, then the monitor requires calibration. Oh, I used a Spider blah 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 Elite. Well, too bad. You're going to have to use something better. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be a total ass about this, but those calibrating instruments are not as good as X-Ray. So you're going to have to really think hard, dig deep, and pull out some cash. And if you really want to get serious about this, and you want to literally print blindly, meaning I edited, I'm satisfied with the results, I can just go File, Print, set the driver to either print with the driver or tell my editing application to use an ICC profile, say in the case of me using some other manufacturer's paper, okay, there's no paper from Hanamule listed on my Canon Pro 100 driver, of course. So I'm going to have to use a similar luster or glossy or matte surface type, and then use a ICC profile that was made specifically for that paper, printer, and OEM in combination. Or in the case of third party, you would have to have a third party made ICC custom profile for you to be able to print. But here's the catch. Your monitor matches this output. Isn't that I was going to say fantastic, but actually this is what you want to achieve. You want your monitor to match this output. Okay. Now you know that your monitor is displaying that image the way your printer reproduces it. So does that make sense now? Your printer reproduces the image this way. And I look at it and it looks correct to me, the way I would have liked to see it reproduced. Okay? Then I go back to my monitor and I say, hey, monitor, you're off. I'm going to calibrate you and we're going to make you match this near perfect output, if you will. So now when that occurs, and now this matches my monitor's display of the same image, I can then trust it to display my images correctly. And that's the goal, isn't it, folks? For you to view your own images from your own camera, your own lenses, your holiday, trips and all of that. The last thing you want is for your monitor to not display your images correctly. Otherwise, why bother editing? It's not going to matter anyway, because the printer is going to take whatever the computer sends to it and reproduce it. If the image is too dark, but it looks correct to you, it's going to appear too dark on print. And vice versa. If it is too light, but it looks correct to you, it's going to be reproduced too light. If it's too yellow and too sun, you get the drift, right? So, regardless of what it looks like on your monitor, okay, even though like that person I just quoted said, I have to adjust my images so they look really bad on my monitor, but they look correct on print. That makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, does it? Oh my gosh, you're constantly guessing. You have no clue what you have to do per image to make it come out normal. Okay, that's really the wrong way to go about this. This is a lot easier this way. Okay, so follow this advice. Please do so. Get your printer certified. Print that standard image. And then when you load something like this that I edited, it's going to look the way it comes. It's going to look upside down. It's going to look the way the display displays it. This is about as perfect as I can imagine. Okay, and this matches my display. What about something subtle? Something without such bright colors? Because when you have super saturated bright colors, even if it's slightly off one way or another, it's difficult to really discern with your eyes. Here's a more subtle image. This matches my monitor. Every subtle tonality matches my monitor. Okay? That's what you're looking for. Whether these were skin tones or nature tones, they match my monitor. And that's the clue here. That is the trick we want to achieve, folks. Here's even less saturated. Notice dual-sided paper. This is that breathing color, river stone, soft gloss, something or other. I forget. Amazing. This is subtle color. Okay. And I look at it. It is so sharp. I can see the four legs of the horse and the tail flapping around and every little bit of a wave on the water. This is low tide, of course. And it matches my monitor. Okay. That's the goal. I don't have to worry. I know what I edit will be reproduced by the printer. Okay. What about skin tones? Check this out. This is so delicate and beautiful. this matches my monitor. The person who edited this made it so that it is very blush looking. Of course, I could reduce the saturation if I wanted it, but this is the way it looked originally. So why should I decide to alter it? It's not my photo to alter. This was beautifully shot by someone, and again, it's a gorgeous image to print, and it looks identical to what the monitor showed me. Okay, so this is what you need to achieve. What about a monochrome? If you have an image that you then basically convert to monochrome, okay, it's still RGB, so it contains all of the data, all of the bit rate, 8-bit or 16-bit. When you print it, you want it to print neutral. You want it to have neutrality throughout the complete range of tonality. Bingo. Perfectly neutral. Okay? So this is what I'm talking about. If this came out some other shade, then I knew something was not correct. I take this back to the monitor and it matches. The monitor displays this image neutral. Okay? An uncalibrated monitor would not display it neutral. You will be able to immediately see the difference, okay? And again, not every calibrator will be able to perform this act of calibration accurately and linearly and basically just as close to perfection as that monitor is able to produce as far as display capabilities go. Oh boy, what about watercolor weird non-inkjet paper? Okay, somebody was asking about that. Well, for that you really need to have a pigment-based printer like this one. So this print, which is my photograph, I converted it to a painting. This is a 17 by 24 inch rendition of this painting of an outdoor cafe in Annapolis, Maryland, our capital. And it is fantastic. It came out just like I see it on my monitor, on regular watercolor paper that's not even inkjet coated. It all boils down. Okay, you will begin to have fun printing only after you get that monitor printer relationship going. It has to be a marriage made in heaven. Okay, the display needs to display that evaluation image the way the printer reproduces it without editing. Okay, that's the trick. And it all comes down to calibration. So, I know I'll be back in a couple of weeks and readdress this whole subject once again. But again, that's fine because new people come into this field and they have to be taught correctly. So I don't mind doing that. Believe me, that's what I'm here for. So remember, I'll leave you with this and we'll shut up and be done with it. You got a new printer or you have a printer that you have not ever certified, go back and dig up some paper for that printer that matches the brand name, print the evaluation V002 TIFF image, open it and print it. File, print, set the driver to ICM in the case of a Canon printer. And I believe Epson also has that option as well. That way then you just then choose the type of paper, in this case Pro Luster. It could be another, luster type paper from Epson. As long as the paper brand is a match to the printer brand, then you can do this trick through the driver. Just let it perform the color management, print it, take a look at it. Had this come out some other shade of color or too light or too dark, it would be the printer's fault. Then I would have to deal with that one way or another. Okay? But that's how you do it. So certify your printer and then make sure that the output matches your display of that same image. However, you have to achieve that with your calibrator and its software package, of course. You cannot use your eyeballs. Your eyeballs will fool you 100% of the time. You need an unbiased instrument that's able to then read values that the monitor is displaying. Okay? So that is it. Match the two, you're good to go. Whatever you output will match. Thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and like. And until the next time, happy printing. Match those two. Okay, you'll be a happy camper, as I am. Bye-bye, everybody.